it showed people that I could get the job done, whatever the job was. And that gave me an opportunity to
go
lead.
for it. Pour into it.
A lot of fear.
I can't believe you did this to me. And I'm like, wait a minute. What did I? Welcome to Leadership Live, Season 5.
Good evening. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Leadership Live with Dr. Renita and friends. And I am so excited to be here with you yet another evening. Coach, mentor, mentee, MC, speaker, I do the things. But what I'm here to do today is to be your host and producer of Leadership Live with Dr. Renita and friends. And so here meet Victoria Williams. Y'all calm down. I know she cute.
Stop.
Stop. Thank you for coming. Hey, honey.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. I have been looking forward to this for some time. So I'm glad to be in this place with you.
Honey, I am happy to be talking to you in a space where I know I'm not going to get in trouble, hopefully, in the whole conversation, because I know other times I'm talking to you and sometimes I'm in trouble.
But no, you're never in trouble. Never.
I'm like, where's the eyebrow?
We'll talk later.
You see? But I want everyone to get to know you a little bit better. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself, and I'll step away and I'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. My name is Victoria Williams, also known as Workout Buddy. So I got my start in fitness, really just starting as a gym rat. I, went through on that roller coaster ride of weight loss. I did extreme diets and, extreme workouts. I did Taibo and Insanity and all those things. And, I would lose the weight and then gain it back. And so there were a few things that really inspired the birth of Workout Buddy. One of them being that once I finally got to the place of being self-disciplined, which is ultimately what you need to be successful on your fitness journey, I thought about all the mindset things that I learned along the way and how I wish I had someone to tell me those things to kind of cut some of that time down. Also, too, being in the gym, especially before COVID, I, would observe other people in the gym, especially around New Year's, the first of each year, when it would get extra thick in the gym. And I would see groups of women come in, friends there to support each other, hold each other accountable. And none of them, knew what they were doing. They're like, come on, girl, let's just walk on the treadmill. And they would do that for a while, and then you wouldn't see them anymore. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I wonder, would they stay longer if one of them knew what they were doing and, they could just kind of encourage from that perspective of experience. So that, in addition to having friends tell me, girl, you need to be a trainer. I'm like, ain't nobody got time for that. Because before COVID, I was a preschool teacher. I have my master's in early childhood special education. And so I had a home preschool for 8 years. And then it was around this time, 5 years ago, that I closed my doors without knowing that would be the end of our village. And so from there, I was already going to do personal training part-time, but I just decided to make it a full-time career. I'm very passionate about what I do, helping other women to feel more confident in their abilities and to just get out of their own way. Because, I tell people all the time, what you need to do to lose the weight, but you're not doing it. So I kind of help with that part of it. And a lot of that is just mindset and different beliefs that we have that we don't even realize. And just helping, just to help women, like I said, to feel empowered. And I absolutely love it. And I'm very interested to share that experience with as many women as possible. So if this is your first time hearing of me, if you feel like you need help and accountability, then stick around to listen to our conversation with Dr. Renita, and you're going to get hopefully even more inspired to be the best version of yourself.
Well,
Come back in
yes,
here.
yes,
Yes.
I am re-inspired. I am re-inspired.
Re-inspired.
Re-inspired. Have you y'all out there? Have you ever had somebody who inspired you, and then you talked to them and you had a good conversation, and they re-inspired you to do something again? Not that I am not already getting my butt kicked.
You're getting
with
it together,
my workout. I'm working on it, but sometimes you just need reminders. You need reminders, and you brought up so much in your introduction. I can't wait to dig into this conversation and think about what we think, right?
Yes.
So you brought up this idea of the January gym rats. There are January gym rats, and there's some people who come January after January after January because for some reason we get in our minds that the new year starts on January 1st. Now, don't get me wrong. I do understand calendars. I understand calendars so well. Like I usually have them up in my home. I use calendar on my phone. I know calendars exist, but the last time I checked, that every day was a new day.
Look at you. Look at you. See, that's not even where I thought you were going to go. I thought you were going to go over there. See, because my belief is that the true new year starts in the spring. We're not supposed to be jump starting anything extreme in the dead of winter when everything is asleep and dormant. That's the time to mentally prepare for, to go ahead and sow, right? And to come up with a plan strategically, but to jump in. And then, like you said, I'll wait till Monday, or I'll wait till the new year, or I'll wait till every day. You can start on a Thursday.
Hello, somebody. How about you just start?
Just start. Because then what people go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and you don't have to start in the morning. You can start at 4:52 p.m.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of people putting it off. That's just procrastination.
We love to put traditional new start labels on things, and so that makes us feel like that was the time. Or we're always looking for a sign.
Yes. Next chapter. Next chapter.
Hello, next chapter. Well, honey, my next chapter is at 12:02 a.m.
Right.
And then you know what that chapter is going to be called? Sleep. Sleep is about to be my new chapter. Hello, it is my new destination.
Sleep is so important.
Right, because I didn't sleep like I was supposed to before, so I'm going to sleep now. But it's that idea of what were you thinking? So if you're thinking about having to have this monumental start to anything, the likelihood of you starting it when it was supposed to be started is pretty low.
Right.
I don't think people think about the fact that when people have these grand openings, when they have these book launches, when they have this, I'm going to get my body right situation, is that it really started long before you ever saw it.
Yes. It always starts in the mind.
Oh yeah. But so it starts in the mind and then you kickstart it, right? I was watching a podcast and they were talking about Usain Bolt and how you see him, win the Olympics, or you see him win whatever. And we forget that there was so many years of training before that. Years and years and years. And then you see these people who pop on the scene, or like you see actors or actresses that pop on the scene. You like, they are overnight success. No, they've been working out this for a long time. And before they even did that step, they got their mind right to take the step.
Yes. And when getting their mind right, they already understood. It's also defining how you define failure, right? Or weakness. And I get on people a lot of times with, in the middle of a workout, they'll, oh, I'm so out of shape. And I'm like, based on what? You just said, because I'm tired, I'm huffing and puffing. That's how a workout is supposed to go. So you have somebody like Usain Bolt, who's every day getting up in the morning, training. There are going to be some days where he's exhausted. There are going to be some days like, I did this run 2 days ago. Why am I struggling today? But he understands that that's a part of the process. And he doesn't take it as he's a failure. That's just what it is. That's the journey. But if you've never been on it, like you said, you see these people pop up from out of nowhere and you think that's going to be you. And then when you don't put in the time that they did and you don't see the results, then that's when you're like, ah.
I don't know about you, but I love people. People are some of my favorite folks. But sometimes people get on my very last nerve. And that's why the reminder that people be peopling is available for you in t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts. Go to www.drrenitaweb.com. Click Use Your Words up in the right-hand corner and get yours today. But I will say this. I love that you use a power word, and it's a word that people don't like, they love to hate, and it's called process.
Girl.
We love to throw out the phrases like trust the process, but googity muggity, the process itself sucks.
It does.
Who wants to deal with the actual processing of the process? Dealing with the process, because the process is multi-steps. A process is never just a
yes.
Hit it and go. It is a multi-step journey
girl,
to getting where you want to go. Preach. Nobody really likes the process. Nobody likes the process.
No, that's boring. That's not exciting. When we talk about the process, like you said, making sure you get enough sleep. What's your morning time routine like? What's your evening routine like? Did you meal prep? Let me see your grocery list. Like, nobody cares, but that's what's going to get you the results. The process.
Right. The process and do it. So you brought up the January gym rats, right? It's the beauty of starting, right? And we celebrate a start, honey. We will celebrate a you get that, honey. You got on that
New year, new me. Who this?
Yeah, you better work, and we take pictures of it, honey.
I'm at the gym. Where you at?
Where you at? Where you at? There's an entry trap next to me just for you. We will celebrate a finish, honey. Yes. I lost pounds, and I lost and I guess I got the degree. We'll celebrate.
We're gonna celebrate,
but we don't celebrate the middle.
We don't celebrate the middle.
We don't celebrate the. I lost 52 pounds. I gained 41, but then I lost again. Like we don't celebrate the process.
And that's also, with the idea of workout buddy, it's like you have a friend, right? There's two ladies, they're friends, they both need to lose weight. You can only hype somebody else up so much if you yourself are struggling in that same position, right? So, it's easy for me to cheer for you because I understand what the process is. And, it's like, you get all wrapped up in, I have this goal weight. I want to lose 50 pounds. Well, I only lost 12. What? That's significant. What do you mean you only lost 12? What, you thought you were just going to lose all 50 all at once overnight? Like 12 is a tremendous step. So we're going to stop. We're going to clap for that. You've done my virtual group workouts with me. Before we log off, I need for you to clap for yourself. Let
me talk to y'all. She's here, and I'm gonna talk about her behind her back in front of her. So she is one of the nicest, kindest people I know. She is, but she also expects that you're still going, right? She expects that you're gonna still do it because you can, and don't mess around and do it the first time, because that means that you can do it the other 4 rounds because you did it before. You did it before, and don't think it's just because it's something simple that you're gonna realize maybe 3 hours after you worked out that you worked that out. But I'm gonna tell you what I love about what you do and how you do it is that you are really my workout buddy. You're not. And not to dig on any personal trainers, because quintessentially that's exactly what she is. But it's a mindset thing. So even the fact that your business is called Workout Buddy and not personal trainer, that shifts mindsets from the beginning. I am talking to my buddy. Now, please note, she's not gonna always be your best friend. Might not want to make the phone call, but you're going to do it anyway. You're going to cut on the Zoom. You're going to do it anyway, or you're going to show up to the place and you're going to do it anyway. But that is the best kind of buddy to have when you're trying to accomplish something. Can we have a talk, folks? I need you to take a moment and evaluate who is around you and the purposes they serve or do not. Because some of us have people around us who we try to carry with us into places and spaces to get places or to get to goals. And we forgot that was never their ministry.
Right.
It was never their ministry. It was never going to work. They don't do that. They are going to say, you like, girl, I am trying to lose 50 pounds. Girl, me too. Let's do this. But while we doing that, let's roll to Cancun real quick and have these drinks and eat at this buffet. And let's go do the things because, girl, we're going to feel good about us while we losing this weight. No, you're not.
Bottomless mimosas.
You're going to be broke. You're going to have a lot of empty calories and you're still not reaching no goals. You need people around you who going to check you, boo.
Yes. And you know, that really is a very challenging part of what I do. Because like you said, I mean, I consider myself a nice person. And unfortunately, when you are holding people accountable, you're not always going to be nice, right? I need to be honest with you. You're not paying me to lie to you, right? If you say that you're going to meal prep and it's been 3 weeks and you ain't lifted a finger, conversation. I need for you to understand why we're here. And I think, like you said, we have friends. You have friends that you turn up with. You have friends that you pray with. You have friends that different types of friendships and relationships. And, I mean, a lot of people fear accountability, because it forces you to be honest with yourself and to turn inward, or even having a friend who will tell you, like, you know what, you were a little petty on that. Maybe you should have, and it's like, ouch, when you hear it. But if they're really in trusting, that's the thing too. I'm big on making sure that my clients trust me and trust the process and trust themselves. So that when I do tell them something, they already know that it's not coming from a place of judgment. It's not coming from a place of malice. Like, it's just straight up to have this conversation and bring it to your attention so we can improve and move on. But listen, I've gotten cussed out a couple of times. I have. Like, not in a fun way. Usually it's like, okay, girl, no. Like, I've gotten, yes.
Well, so, hopefully those things have been divested from your life.
Yes.
And you are able to carry on, because I think part of not only, holding people accountable, but also holding yourself accountable for your own personal self-care and your own journey as an entrepreneur is that sometimes you got to learn, I'm not the person for you and you're not the person for me. And let's take this part going. Happy trails.
Right. It's like you said, it has to be with somebody who is ready for that change, who is ready to grow and evolve and to, be held accountable. But there are some people that think they're ready and they're not. And that's okay. That's okay. But I think, it's just a part of knowing yourself, being honest with yourself. When you talk about that mindset, there's a fine line between enabling and grace. And I say that all the time. And, if you feel like, oh, I'm tired, I had a long day. Okay, that's understandable. But if you're tired and had a long day and you end up on the couch every single day, that's a lifestyle at that point. You're enabling at that point when you know you need to do better and you're ignoring it because you're tired and you had a long day. Okay, there are fit people that are tired and have long days.
Okay, so you have all of these stories. You have come to this place. What was your experience and process to get you to where you are now? Because, baby, the body is bodying, right?
Yeah.
The mindset is mindsetting. How did you get to this place where you lived the experience enough and you had enough knowledge? And I say knowledge plus experience is wisdom, that now you can take that and help others.
Well, like I said, I do a lot of reflecting anyway. Before getting into this, I practice journaling often and just kind of reflecting, self-reflection. And then that's when I realized, like, looking back, how did because people are like, when did you get started on your fitness journey? That's a hard question to answer. I was doing Tae Bo back in the early 2000s. you know,
Come on!
listen, me and Billy were getting it in. Okay.
All right, big Mr.
But you know, just looking back at just my overall journey and things that I learned from certain, I'll tell people there was a diet that I did. I actually did it twice. The second time I was like, F this. See what I fixed it. But the diet was 500 calories a day.
Hello, I am Dr. Renita L. Webb.
Who is ready to not only be poured into, but to also pour out today? Doing our best, our very best, to be on time. Hello, somebody say on time.
You had a moment when you had something that was given to you that you thought was your gift, and you found out it was for everybody.
And I remember Sister Vanessa went with her friends to Baltimore to see the wretch. At that time, I didn't know what the wretch was. I didn't know what wretch meant, but I knew she shouldn't have been there.
To learn how to have those feelings and to crank up those emotions within you to say, oh, that really wasn't right.
I sit better in my car than I do in my shower, but that let me tell you. I only sit better in my car when it's just me in the car. Unless my jam comes on, then I don't care who's in the car. We're going to take my freedom.
500 calories a day. That's all
What
I
were you
could eat.
eating? Lettuce leaves and celery?
A half an apple, a beef patty, a quarter-pound beef patty, and sliced tomato. That was every day. That was what I had. That was for 6 weeks. 6 weeks, 500 calories a day, and I would get hormone injections. I lost 30 pounds. I lost 16 pounds in the first 7 days. Right. That's what people want. That's what people want. They want, and that's where I was. I want to lose this weight like yesterday, right? I did it the first time. I lost 30 pounds in 5 weeks. You know, I felt more confident, blah, 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 blah. But once I got off of that, I went right back to doing what I was doing before because nothing else changed. So then over time, I gained that weight back. Then my husband proposed to me. And he's like, no, I'm trying to lock this down. You got 5 months. And I'm like, 5 months? That's not long enough. I got you. I'm going back to this that I did before. And then when I was doing, I said, I don't want to keep doing this. This is not a healthy way. I want to be able to lose the weight and keep it off. And so then just reflecting back on all the mindset things I had to change, and just being aware of them, awareness. And then, like I said, I had the home preschool, and I was going to do fitness part-time, training part-time, and just really strictly looking at the personal training part. So I was looking at getting my personal trainer certification. I did that. And then I was like, you know, my next goal is to get certified in nutrition coaching. I want to understand nutrition better. I want to educate other people so that they're not relying on protein powder and, you know, these crazy diets all the time. And so I got my personal training certification. 5 weeks later, I was diagnosed with stage 2 Hodgkin's lymphoma. And that really sent me on a whole nother journey in regards to mindset. That's when I started seeing a therapist, you know, just really aware of negative self-talk. I had my chemo treatments every other Thursday. And so, you know, I learned what to expect. So I'd have it on a Thursday. Those 5 to 7 days after that, I was in the bed. I couldn't do anything else. So then after that, my energy would start to come back, and then I would feel back to normal the day before my next treatment. And so there were some times I'd be laying in the bed right after a treatment, like not being able to move, just sick. And the voice in my head would say, girl, you should have done that laundry before your treatment. You knew that you wouldn't be able to get up. You should have done that. Look at your child's hair. You should have washed that and did it before this treatment. Like, what are you even doing? It's a mess. You're gaining weight. No client is going to hire a trainer that is gaining weight. So I had all these voices in my head that weren't logical. And so with talking with my therapist, I just discovered how helpful it was just to say these ridiculous things out loud, because I learned that it takes the power away from it. You know, you have these intrusive thoughts that just cycle through your head over and over, and you just listen to them. You just listening to them and believe in it. And it's not even true. And then when you say it out loud, you hear how ridiculous it sounds. And then you need that confirmation from other people like, girl, you are tripping. Let's talk about all the things you're winning from. You're doing this, you're doing that, you're great at that, but you don't have that part in your head echoing, you know? And so that's why I'm like, I want to be that for other women. And just giving us opportunities to have those conversations, to say things out loud. And so I'm trying to get back to answering the question that you asked. How did I get? So, I mean, it was just a variety of different experiences and just reflecting on that and just really looking at other personal trainers. And I'm not saying none of them do that, but a lot of them, either they can't relate, they've never been overweight, or they aren't really mindful about being able to create a safe place for their clients to come and talk about all the things that are getting in their way, either with time management, finances, emotional issues they have going on. And just, motivation. Everybody's looking for motivation. And I'm like, you don't need motivation. You need self-discipline. Because please believe there are plenty of days that I do not want to work out. I don't feel like it. But you do it anyway because you have the self-discipline. And it's just a part of your routine. But, and it's also empowering too, because, especially as women, we think, oh, I would love to work out, but I can't because I have to do this. I have to be there. I have to do this for this person instead. And really, when you think about it, it takes your power away. You feel powerless. Like, I want to pour into myself, but I can't because I'm too busy doing all these other things. I'm too burnt out from helping all these other people. So I want women to really find their power. And even with my my cancer diagnosis, my husband and I are very private people. We usually don't talk about those things. But I told him, I said, this is too heavy for us to carry alone. We need more prayers and more support from people. And so that helped so much, just reminders like, girl, you are amazing. You are strong. You got this. And just thinking about how that got me through on those hard days. And I want to do that for somebody else. It can be very exhausting just day in, day out, but it's like that's how you get the results, is day in, day out.
Day in, day out. I mean, yeesh. Okay. So
I told you I was wordy.
No. It's so this idea of helping other people learn how to not only hear what they're saying, but get those thoughts out of their head so that they can combat it. And so it's like fighting a hidden enemy versus fighting something or somebody you can see. And so if you can hear those words out loud, that was such a powerful piece for me. It's here, I heard it said, not I just thought I heard it or was this in my mind. No, I heard you say that. It's not like I think she was talking about you. No, I heard you talking about me.
Right.
And sometimes we got to talk to ourselves like we would talk to the chick down the street that we heard talking about us. And that would,
yes.
In talking to you, you check me, honey. You will hear me talk about me, and you don't like the way I talk about me sometimes. And so you're like, what did you say?
Excuse me?
And it's time for us to, one, get somebody around you who's going to check you talking about you. You talking about their friend. That's your fix your life.
Right.
Also, learn how to check ourselves when we talk about ourselves.
Absolutely.
How, MC Light, and I heard her say it first. It may have been she heard it from, but I heard it from her, so we're going to say it.
That's what MC Light said.
She said it. She said, speak what you speak until you see what you say.
If
you keep speaking certain things about yourself, you're going to seek that. And you're going to see that. So until you speak differently, you're not going to see differently.
Absolutely. Girl, what song is that?
She said it in when she was talking. It was like a talk.
Oh, it wasn't a bar. It was a bar, but it wasn't a bar.
It was a bar. Bars without being a bar. If she ever said it in the song, I don't know, but I heard her speaking somewhere on the internet.
Wow.
And I said, "Whoa, come on, Light! You better say what you say when you say
That
to
is
people."
absolutely the truth. Yes, and we just, I mean, it's just constantly a feed. And if you have somebody that's never really been fit before, I'm not talking about people who have lost weight in the past and gained it back, but if you have really made it a practice, a habit, and you're self-disciplined with it, then you know what you're capable of. But if you're all like, oh, like I said, I'm tired, or I'm out of shape, or I'm so fat, I can't get past this big fat belly. Like, why are you even speaking that way? And I'll say, just like you said, if somebody else was talking to you this way, what would you do with that? Oh, I wouldn't talk to him anymore. Okay, so why are you putting up with it now? Just because it's you? No. All the more reason to shut it down. But